Hi, okay, we're back. So now it's time for Anik's approach. Bridget, I keep thinking of Bridgerton, it's so bad. Oh my gosh. I'm leaving that in. Okay, bridging digital and physical economies. All right. So, to address these challenges, my approach focuses on taking what is already working in both the online and offline sectors and strategically applying them to areas where there's untapped potential. And that's how I work as a coach. When I meet any challenge or I see chaos or I see some sort of disorganization, I meet that with a heads on approach like, okay, well, what are the problems? Let's brainstorm some ideas and apply some possible outcomes and see, what sort of untapped potential we can unveil. Because it's really exciting watching humans grow or a business grow or scale to bigger heights. I love that sort of stuff. It really lights me up. Okay, so to address these challenges, a visual entrepreneurial capitalist view. So, number one, leveraging existing digital infrastructure. By improving the existing tools like payment systems, financial apps, and SaaS platforms, we can create a bridge that connects the online economy with real world industries to buy and sell more efficiently. By making financial tools more accessible and integrated, we can reduce the barriers to entry for individuals and businesses that want to participate in the global economy. Now, I don't know about reducing the barriers per se in terms of leveraging existing digital infrastructure, because I like how, for example, the banking systems are exclusive. You need to have all of your IDs, all of your forms, and it's a luxury to have that kind of access. So I think it should stay with those protocols, but there should be ways to develop faster within that existing ecosystem. For example, savings account interest rates are pretty low. So if we were to apply technology into the current banking system using a new coin generated or some sort of cryptocurrency or some sort of currency that is agreed upon, we can use a stable coin, for example. We say, okay, well, in the banking system now you can buy these stable coins, but you can use a trading platform that, these tech is already designed, but if it was in the banking sector, you put your coins in a trading platform and it trades for you with AI automatically, and it immediately gives you profits that are translatable into your already existing bank account using these technology and tools. So in your banking system, you also have a trading person or robot, you have your normal debit, credit, sign-up flows, you have your normal payments, online processes, but the bank system works a lot more for its customers than having to have more complicated ways of doing things, but also it can have some sort of access to currencies using that system. Yeah, that's where I see that. In terms of SaaS is great. I feel like whatever SaaS products are developed, then companies should just get first-hand awareness through marketing so that they can know how to optimize SaaS platforms to improve their existing companies and sell more products. Next, through incorporating visual gamified tools for financial literacy, I love this idea the most. And I'll tell you and show you some insight. All right, so if we think about, okay, I propose the application of gaming platforms like The Sims, SimCity, and other simulation games like, what is it called? I definitely wrote this down earlier. Oh, Sims, SimCity, Make It Rain, and Idle Factory. Those ones I have found to use my to use for today. So look at the Sims, right? And I can show you a bit of it on my computer after this. So other simulation-based applications create an accessible way, and it's engaging for individuals to manage their homes, their people or their teams, and it's an engaging way to manage finances. And I'll tell you why. Let's say you're a visual person and you need to see in a simulation before you apply to share information with your family or with the bank or with your team. You want to show a visual concept first, because sometimes an idea in your mind, you may not have the communication tools to communicate clearly to another person what you're thinking, or they might not be able to visualize seeing it through or seeing how it would work. So if you use something like Sims, for example, and you said, okay, well, we're going to start with being able to visually see our houses. We can see houses making money. We can see, okay, well, do we need to buy a couch today? Do we need to buy a fridge today? Do we need to do this? And the way that it works is every time you enter the space, you get like daily money. So you get daily money on the game. You get an overview of the vitals of each of your community people. So you see, okay, are they hungry? They need to use the bathroom. Are they tired? Shower, conversational, and happiness stuff. And they all have jobs that they do go to every day. My phone, something's going on with the Wi-Fi. Okay, we're here. So you can tell, and they have the ability to take part in competitions. And so you get a really good overview of that. And you can also get a zoomed out view, right? And so you collect money every day, you collect points, and you also get lifestyle points. So lifestyle points come from playing with pets, doing community work, community service work, doing fitness competitions, doing firefighting stuff, building up a community. So you can build up any money that you make here. You can build an animal shelter, you can build a music place, you can build a market, a park, and this makes a community very happy. You can buy boats, gifts, grocery stores, and you can see things from a zoomed out perspective of a community. What I like about this is that you could see what's going on in your community. But let's say, for example, you want to pay your bills online, and there's a Sims component to that. And I feel like the metaverse was trying to figure this out during the pandemic, but I don't think they were able to do that. So I feel like I can show you how it should really work. So let's say, for example, you have your financial companies here, or your electric companies, your gym membership, your shopping center. You can go here, pay bills online. You know, you just click into it and you just say, pay bills online. And it's connected to your bank account, so that all of your online, and this is why Web 4 is the future, because Web 3 was a stepping stone, but Web 4 is where we really have it all going on. And I'm really grateful and lucky to be able to introduce you to Web 4, where it is a whole new ball game, and to see it actually integrate into real world would be so exciting. And it is based on points. You know, you get points for everything you do, and you just click your money, and you have people around doing lots of stuff, and you'll see, why is she still tired? So she needs to go back to sleep. He's hungry, so he needs to go and eat something. And you just kind of let everybody do their own thing. And there's a cat here, and you go and you play with the cat and you make money, you know. And so this is how I see us applying everything to our personal lives. You can manage your house, your home, you can manage your vitals as a human body, and you can manage actually being in the community and economy. And you get a 3D picture of what's around. So let's say we apply Google Maps to this concept. And on Google Maps, not only can you see where each store is, you can actually have all the shops there where you can transact on that map directly which saves you time and energy. So you don't have to have all of these apps where you have to order your groceries with one app and do this with another app. You can maybe still have that, like maybe each individual app will still be aligned to transacting, but at least in terms of a visual one place vibe, this is how I see it. And further, this is just the SimCity part. So each time you come, you get money, but you also translate your time and energy into money. So it shows you your money, and you can buy things with lifestyle points too. So every time you grow tomatoes in the market, you get lifestyle points. Every time you exercise, you get lifestyle points. So let's say your daily step intake output, your daily step output is 1,200 steps per day, and you get lifestyle points for that. Just by moving, just by being alive, you basically get awarded points. And with those points, you can then go and spend. And these are all concepts that are already being put into place as we are investing into Web 4, which is exciting. But for me, introducing these concepts means I want market share of all of this implementation because I put it together. So I like the idea of I get majority shares in the application of this integration, but everybody's invited to buy in and everybody makes money. Now let's say we want to manage a business, right? So there are a few options to that. We can look at a business like Roller Coaster Tycoon. And every day, and you enter these games, you're getting money. So you just claim everything. You get gold coins, you get tickets, you get cash, you get all sorts of prizes. And let's say you have a roller coaster theme park here, and you get to manage, okay, well, these amount of people are coming in, collect cash from the burger store. We manage, everything is under management as well. So you can see, all right, we want to build roller coasters, we need $100,000 to build roller coasters. Currently, we just have a Ferris wheel. Then we want, whatever you want to build in the park. You could build Space World, Treasure Island, carts. Growing up, we used to love paintballing. So my brother and I, we would have paintball fights, and we loved it. It hurts, it hurts. But because Trinidad was not really too gun friendly, they shut us down, and we got in trouble. So we weren't allowed to really do that. But it gives you the opportunity to have a simulation where you're managing something, and then you can apply it into the real world, which I like. Then I like this game. Now this is the most fun one for me. It's called Make It Rain. And each time you get it, I'm going to collect 93.1 million here. I put my currency in Great Britain pounds because it is so far the highest exchange rate to our Trinidad dollar. Now I can switch this currency to US, and what I like about this that there's lots of currencies here to play with. And every day you go in your account and you just get to have money just flowing. And this is how you make money. And there's so much. It's like an unlimited bank account where it's just boom, bang, bang, So in here I have 535 million, and it always goes up. And then you get to, think about, then I collect another 150,000 there. And then, so far I've invested into newspaper route, lemonade stand, flower cart, coffee shop, fast food chains. Next is a casino. Then they have soda companies. Then they have mining, Arctic drilling. So it really gets your mind focused on the right places if you're trying to be an entrepreneurial capitalist. But you can imagine this being your bank account. Instead of all of that words and back-end websites that are icky to use, and imagine this is your bank account where you get to come into your bank every day. You get to play with your money. You get to see it, make it. You could, then I can say I'm going to buy angel investment for 157 million, but I have more, so I'll take another 174 million and buy that. And it gives you the opportunity to play with bigger numbers, but also to be able to translate it into the real world. So let's say all of this is attached to my bank account. And you might think, okay, well, what is everyone going to do if they could just stay home on their iPad, access their bank account, and have cash just flowing and flowing and flowing? And the reality is, a lot of people will still want to be in groups and communities. A lot of people like going to work and having jobs. But it's not like you have to be paid to go to that site to have a job. You can just be paid, but you can still go and have a job. Like, for example, some people love being a nurse. They don't want to give up being a nurse. They don't want to just stay home and not be a nurse. So let's say a nurse wants to give all of her life hours to her job, but she wants a bigger house, or she wants to buy a nicer car, or she wants to travel more or something, or shop more. Then she should have the opportunity to know that most of her waking hours are spent in a hospital room, tending to people, putting everybody else first. But she can take her iPad to work and know that she can just set this up, and in her sleep, this is creating financial wealth for her. And it puts things into perspective, because we need people in the service industry, and we have already created the job infrastructure of what is. However, there is room to have what is, but it makes everybody richer, right? So here now, it gets fun, because you have all these noises too. So you buy another angel investment for $194. You can invest into Bitcoin account here, comic book collection here, bookie, a loan shark. And you could just spend having fun, building businesses. You get nice, you get diamond clips for your money, which I'm on for the next level. So if I have an LED clip, you can buy diamonds. And, you get your mind in the right place for financial literacy, business and economics, and application to practice on a simulation. However, let's just say it's not just going to be a simulation. This is the new bank account. Choose a couple to breed, it's saying. Yeah, well, this version has ads, right? But this is my thesis, where I think this is how easy it should be to do anything in the world. It should be this easy to make money. It should be this easy to bank. It should be this easy to get currencies. It should be this easy to buy whatever you want to buy. And it should be this easy to communicate and learn about finance for everybody who's now starting. Now, this doesn't have coins per se, but it does have investing into Bitcoin accounts. Now, because of what we mentioned in the previous videos, most people have been skeptics of this. Now, given that it can be utilized in these ways that we see are better, I might be more of a fan of it, to be fair. I want to find the place where it shows different currencies, because that was a really fun part for me to see. All right, so then you get vaults. Right, so when you make all your money, you have vaults. So you can stash money in diamonds, like gold coins, horseshoes, silver horseshoes, pearls. So I'm going to store a bunch in pearls. A Ming vase. This looks very Asian, but we like that. It's probably like porcelain. And it goes up. Crystal skull, knight sword. It gets fun like that. But in the real world, obviously, you go to many mansions, and these are real world physical components that people are buying and keeping in their house. But let's just say it's just becoming too cluttered in your house, and you're like, I'm a minimalist. I don't want to keep buying physical things. I want digital vaults and I want digital storage. This is where the application can be intertwined for that. If, for example, you are a minimalist and you want to keep things safe. Now, when it comes to even more safety connections, there are, let's say you need a bodyguard. That's an in-person job, and you want to hire security. You want to hire people. So there will not be an end of those jobs, because they will still be needed. But these security can also be making more money. But there are people in the world that genuinely want to do their job, but having extra money has not hurt anyone. Right? Especially if you have the right tools and infrastructure, like keeping the banking system, let's say for newcomers, there is a learning process that you have to go through to access any level of money and increase in wealth. So if you have the learn to earn concept, you have your job where someone's not afraid to take the time away from their job to invest into learning, because it translates into earning that can then be applied into the real world. So that's how I see this working. And this is basically setting you up to say, I'm making 133,000 per second in Great Britain pounds. And this just goes up to millions and millions and millions. Now, that's what I like, and that's what I would want to see for my banking experience. And even for transfers, if they had like just little simple buttons that just says click to transfer, whatnot. Now, let's say you own a manufacturing company or a mining company, and you want to oversee your workers. You can apply this in a corporate setting. So my idle cash just made me $1.2 trillion, right? So I'm going to collect that and allow this to happen while I watch an ad. So let's just say you're managing employees and you want to look at them from an overview of how they're working. You can have this app for companies where you can see your architectured factory, and you can see how workers are implementing and how you allocate resources into hiring or managing staff or getting more equipment and whatnot. Right? I hope you're still with me here. But this is my thesis of what should happen, because hire more guards, prison empire. Well, this is now showing me an ad of a prison version of it. So yeah, I mean, different businesses can translate into different cases to be used, right? So now I'm gonna oversee $4.6 trillion, right? This one is fun because you can see you got the managers here and you got a workstation, and they're basically mining all of these what do you want to call that, raw material into gold, real gold, right? And you have all your factory line up here, and you invest, and each time you invest into like a different hire or a different station, it gets more expensive. So you can see the cash just flowing in. You can see how many people are there. You can even see if someone's taking a nap on the job, which they do. And it doesn't seem like a problem because look, it's building, 4.8 trillion in idle money. So these are just systems that we can integrate for companies to have better overview of their hires, and you can see everybody in a digital way. Like imagine if all of your company profile workers had, this. So for example, let's say we are assigning Derek to this workstation. So Derek's on workstation, Jane is on workstation, Ben is on workstation, Nick is on workstation, Steph is on workstation, David's on workstation, and then we have the managers kind of overseeing everything. And that is how it goes. So this is how I agree that we should apply gaming into the real world, not only for banking and financial systems, but also for overview of economies. It goes even further when you look at SimCity for governments, mayors, and overviewing a city. So if your pre-requirements, your prerequisites, your daily obligations are managing a country. Let's say you are an actual president, prime minister, country leader, city builder, urban city planner, all of these things. And you look at SimCity and building a city, you will see that there are things you have to address and overview. Now, having these 3D rendered imaging systems really helps to see how your city makes money, how you pay your bills, how everybody's paying everything. Instead of all of these old paperworks and files, you can now use AI to take all of that data, implement it into systems, and therefore have better data tracking of everyone and their human profiles. And that's the real application of any AI and software tool that needs to be done. Now, you may wonder, well, who is going to pay for that? And then again, it brings up about the component of having a certain currency that works to see all of this through. And through that, it also makes profit and supports the entire building of a new economy, so that you don't have to raise taxes or inflations to make money for a country, but there's a different avenue in which we are using concepts of time as a value that translates into currency or attention or building of a park or doing some charity work, or many of the contributions that humans make are all, even being a housewife, being a house mom. Let's say every morning you wake up and you get access, just for being a housewife, to your new income, so that all the burdens are not placed on your husband. Imagine how much happier each couple in their family would be. So every time you go into your city that you get to build, you see you can build apartments, you can build factories, you can implement different water systems, wind systems, and it does make money. And you can travel to other cities and you can see how things are being built up, which is exciting because you get a good overview of your own city's tasks. But then when you travel, you can go and visit other cities and you can see how to buy different tools or equipment. So let's go to travel to Daniel's city. So we're going to travel to Daniel's city. And you can see here that he has Daniel's Trade Depot. So I go and I buy some stuff there. We're buying nails and wood and all the stuff from my factory. But look how fun this is. So we got in Paris and Daniel's city. All this is going on 3D rendering, which is exciting because this is, if you architectured anything, you'll see that you want to see how it operates in 3D and to manage it and see it. And it's exciting when it's all lit up. It looks nice. Anyway, all these buildings are lit up really nicely. And even more exciting, if Elon saw this, he might be excited. But there's even a rocket station being built. So imagine that every city is now going to have rocket stations next to their private jets and the helicopter pads. Look, the rocket's coming in. So it's really fun, in that regard. And then you have the airports with private planes or whatever planes. And then you can also monitor the islands offshore. And there are also ports where you can see what's happening on a trade level. And you can see, different materials wanting to trade in and out. Hey, it's my favorite visiting mayor. Good to see you, mayor. Thank you. And you got cute notes, and this is how I feel any country or system should be run, through integrating technology and these infrastructures. All right, I know, we've been here a while. I have collected this information for quite some time to bring it to you as my official finale of research. And congratulations, you've made it to the world of Web 4 that we're building. And it's even more exciting as time goes along, because our group is amazing and we are using a lot of these iconic visuals for the platforms, which I feel make a huge difference for user friendliness. And I find but then again, there are the Android people and the HP people, and then there are the Mac people, because engineer brains sometimes need all of that stuff. But for a user-friendly, normal person, I just don't see that they would want all of that in a quick process. So that's something I'm open to discussing in terms of, because Amazon, for example, it's popular, it works, but it's not super iconish. It's more, I would say it's an engineerial sort of layout. It is more user-friendly now than it used to be. Thoughts. Okay, so next. So that's what I see for incorporating everything and how I feel it should flow. So when we think about platforms like Web4 and blockchain technology, these do hold the potential to revolutionize the way we think about money, make money, and actually spend it, or allocate it, or invest it strategically. If your investment portfolio works, like let's say we tie this into insurance, and you have a separate account, you have your bank account, you have your insurance account where you invest, but let's just say you want your investment to reach 100K in 4 years instead of by the time you're 65. That process is way too long, and this is a good solution, whether you use a stable coin like XRP or other blockchain solution, to allow that process. Like let's say the process is on a monthly basis in financial literacy. You get a chunk of money from your income, it goes to 10 places: family, kids, house, bank, bills, credit cards, travel, shopping, food, accessories, la-di-da-di-da. Investing. The Sagicor concept should be actually where these trading platforms are put in to allow people to spend more time there, but also to see that wealth fund move faster. And it all be legal. And, whether that is tax deductible or whether that automatically just takes a percentage to move to tax, or the government finds a different way to optimize its income and cancels out the concept of tax. These are all concepts that I feel are open for discussion if we're building something new from scratch. But not new from scratch, it's using existing platforms, but maybe it's a filtration process to see what stays and what goes. So for example, also in the legal system, this is where blockchain is important, because let's say you have a case going on and the case is going on for 2 years, which I have a lot of lawyer friends, and this is what the experience has been shared with me. It's that they could speed it up, but it will go on and go on and go on because, again, everybody wants more profits. And I know it's a hard dog-eat-dog world out there, but I mean, imagine if you didn't have to go that route because you had, idle cash or make it rain happening, but you still like being a lawyer. You still want to be a lawyer and do your job because your intellectual mind will still call you to do that, and it's fun, and you'd want to do that, but it doesn't have to be stalled out. So let's say all the documents are just put on the blockchain. You get real world-time data. Let's say there was a car accident, and you have real-time data from a video that's on the street to see who's in right, who's on wrong. You put that forward to a legal case, and you could see. It doesn't need to be a 4-month legal process. That could be done in 2 twos. You could even have a legal case online if you can't even go to the judge, But if it's murder and trial, that and theft and all those big things, scams and frauds, I don't know how to deal with those sort of legal battles or divorces and all those messy stuff. I'll leave that in the lawyer's hands and corporate law and, setting up businesses and all of these sort of stuff. But it would be a lot easier if it was on the blockchain and you can have real world data. I see it more from the perspective from lawyers as to trademarks and branding and NFTs and making sure that your original ideas are stamped as original and yours so that it prevents people from stealing. So let's say, for example, I timestamp this video of my thesis and concept on the day that I post this on my YouTube channel. To me, that's mine because I put it all together at this time. But let's say by the time humans catch up to this idea and think it's relevant, maybe it'll be the next 2 years, unless you're a super genius mind like me, who's kind of always a little ahead of the curve. And then you might also wonder, well, how long would it take to really implement this? And that's why working with a coach or a person, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like this video, by the way. It does help to get things going a little faster, but you'll need to hire a professional like myself to really help implement a lot of these things and build out a strategic team that is skilled enough to get things going in that direction. All right, so the concept of tokenizing time and effort, whether that's activity effort or again in community effort. So using a stable coin, we're just going to call XRP for now, or another blockchain solution. This could allow individuals to earn digital currencies that hold real value that you can take to the market and transact and buy vegetables, for example. Or you can put into an Uber, or you can put into a Zoom membership, or you can put into a health wellness app for data tracking that translates all of your wellness. Let's say you have a green juice and you have a salad and then you go for a walk. You get real points that translates into money. That's Web 4. That's where we are in life. Yeah. I love it. I love it. If you don't love it, I don't know. I would say think again. To me, it makes sense. All right, and then you can use these tokens, these crypto tokens, through Apple Pay, wire transfers, and cash withdrawals. So this, like I know in China, everybody uses Alipay, I believe, and that's where they have already integrated their social platforms with their banks. So that, no, it's WeChat. So you have WeChat, where it's going. I'm getting a call. I hope that audio doesn't stop when I get a call. Okay, so like for example, WeChat, that's going on, right? If we think about where WeChat is in the world, WeChat is already having a social platform that integrates a financial system. So you can chat with your friends and money flows a lot faster. But in developing countries, this might be a bit slower. So we just want to speed these things up, but also build something new that doesn't exist if it needs to be built. And integrating these financial systems into everyday life. I've had you for a long time. This is one of the longest videos I've done, so I'm going to try and wrap this up quicker than it needs to go on for. By creating systems that allow individuals to manage their finances, pay bills, donate to charities, even pay taxes through digital platforms, we could see systems would not only be user-friendly but transparent, allowing real-time tracking of financial activities while ensuring compliance with regulatory standards. So it integrates with insurance companies, starting at time, attention, movement, in addition to applied social use case scenarios such as charity work, contributions through point systems that translate into monetary flows like visas. I also see this applicable to teachers because there's so many teachers and nurses and house moms in the world that this system would actually work really well for them, who give their life and precious hours and could like make such a whirlwind of a difference to our human existence that it would be nice to see higher pay for these jobs. And like Amex works, or Amex, whatever you want to call it, it uses membership and elite focus on its members, but it's making a point system so attractive that it makes you feel exclusive. It has really nice travel benefits and points that are all acquired to be able to be spent. All right, so in the future, we're looking at evolution of financial systems, the role of private equity and institutional support. And the future does lie in adapting the financial existing tools and tech in ways that cater to a broad range of human experiences, both online and offline. By leveraging technologies like blockchain, AI, and Web4 integration, we can create a more exclusive and decentralized financial system that are both transparent and accessible to all. The infusion of liquidity into the market through institutional support, private equity, and banking will be essential in bringing these ideas to life. With the right regulatory framework and support, we can transform the financial landscape to empower individuals and create more opportunities for sustainable wealth generation. In conclusion, in a world where everyone is seeking more money, we must consider the tools, technologies, and systems that will allow us to achieve that goal in an ethical and sustainable way. By merging the best of the digital and physical worlds and using innovative tools like gamified financial management and blockchain, using game theory, we can create a future where wealth generation is not limited to a privileged few, but available to all. This thesis aims to explore these possibilities, examining both current systems and potential solutions while proposing a new path forward where technology, finance, and institutions work in harmony to empower to empower individuals globally. Okay, so that in conclusion is my thesis of building a new world of work and careers architectured by Annie Lewis in 2025. Oh, that's been a long episode, but I had so much fun! Yay! Okay, so it's taken me like 3 weeks to conceptualize all of this, put it together, and then demonstrate. And if you didn't notice, my previous videos got totally muffed up from the mic. It feels like sabotage, you know. It's random. When I want to get a really good message out, my mic starts to give trouble. I have tech issues, but hopefully this mic has worked all the way through and we don't have those issues again. And thanks for bearing with me. I'll go back to the start and refilm those initial videos that went muffled, but I needed to get that information out at this time. So thanks for being forgiving as always, and thank you for sharing your time, space, and energy with me. Again, Lucci is a paid actor. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you love this video. Until next time, I have to get back to all the calls that I missed while filming this and organize a bunch of stuff. Okay, bye.